Hey all, I'm going to talk about the multinational operation in this video, and the whole idea here is to understand the logic and the reasoning and to make your learning quite easy. So in the multinational operations, we use two methods, which is the current and the temporal, and the idea here is to understand how and why these methods are used. So if you are a company and if you have got a subsidiary that is really independent, that works far away from you, and you want to gauge and you want to imbibe its all financials into your balance sheet, and there could be two possibility here. The first is that your subsidiary is supplying back to you, so it's like more of co-integrated with you, and the next is that it's working quite independently in some other environment. So we have two methods, current and temporal. Now current use all things of the net income at the average rate and balance sheet at the current rate. So it's a kind of all current method. If you have got a subsidiary that's far off from you, then you would not use historical rate anywhere, but you would use all current rate. Probably this would give you a real understanding of how risky it is. The temporal uses just monetary at current rate and the rest at historical rate, which means that if your subsidiary is just partially outside but it's more co-integrated with you, it's supplying things back to you, its operations depend back of things at home, the currency fluctuations might really not affect them, then we can use the temporal method if it's very well co-integrated back to the mother company. So independent versus dependent subsidiary is one aspect to look at. Now when we look at the way in which we do perform these things, the net income, we use plug in the translation, whereas we use a plug in the all current method. So the net exposure, the total exposure is we use everything current, so that's more of a realistic net exposure, whereas we use the net monetary in the translation, so that's a kind of a less volatile. The net income in the current method we'll use average, whereas in the translation method we use the plug here, as well as the plug values come partially from historical things. So not just we use things which are historical like COGS, but SG&A we use as average, but we also the plug that comes to us again comes from the balance sheet, and it's a match of historical. So the whole idea is the current is bringing everything more at today's price, and temporal is bringing less of that in today's price. It has got many things that are purchased at a historical rate. So as you might understand, if we don't want to bring in everything that they have today. So that's one way to look at it. You might have your own understanding and logic to build things here, and I'm going to try some of the questions here. Now there are a few things that becomes quite interesting. In the all current method, the plug is your net income, and in the current method, sorry, your plug is the balance sheet. So you would translate everything into your current way, and you would translate everything on your net income using the average rate. The difference that you would use that would be as a plug. Now there would be different results when you use both of them, and they arise because of the use of historical prices. So if your subsidiary is working in an inflational environment, then you are actually overvaluing the historical things because the things have depreciated. So if you buy something say for example in India of 100 rupees and the currency is depreciating, then that in dollar terms you are at a loss. So the loss is due to the inflationary environment. But if you have got a debt that is in India and the Indian currency is depreciating, then you are at an advantage. So if your monetary exposures, if your liabilities are more in India and the Indian currency depreciates, then of course you are at an advantage, because in dollar terms you are going to pay less. But if your debt is not there in India, if your debt is more in US and you don't have to pay money here more, then probably the inflation would cause your assets to move down. So in the all current method you would be hit more hardly, but in the translation method you would be hit less. And of course the translation means that you are not totally based out of your parent company, so that it should always be less, because the way if even if you are in foreign, the currency fluctuations affect you less. The other idea is that when inflation is happening and you have got some historical things being put there in the historical prices, you are overvaluing them. So maybe you are overvaluing, or you are not just taking in all the risk. So that's the whole idea here. It's a little tricky thing, but there are 3 points that I want you to take from here. The first is that even if you don't understand what I told till now, if you can understand the 3 points that I'm going to talk now, that should be good enough. So we have an option. The first point, we have an option to translate everything into current plus a mix of current and historical. We do that because we want to reflect the right position when your subsidiary is working in a total different environment where the currency fluctuation would affect your subsidiary. And if your subsidiary has got the third point, if your subsidiary has got exposures where the subsidiary has to pay something, then you are better off, because the currency depreciation would essentially mean that you have to pay less amount of money. So those were the 3 interesting points here. I hope this was useful for you. I would be making some of the videos. I'll try to bring in some logic in place, because most of the times we are just given some rule and we really don't understand how that rule is spelled out. I hope this was helpful. Thank you for listening.